always encourage someone that doesn't know Christ to get to know Christ. Someone that went straight away from the church to come back and get aligned with the church. And so I just see it as a powerful opportunity, man. It was very good news. Right.
Yes, sir. Now, Pastor, when we were going to meet about 2 weeks ago, but our schedules didn't cross up. At that time, you were one of the principals at Bell Elementary, and I was ready to talk about that. But God has elevated you, God. In my opinion, I don't know if he sentenced you or elevated you. I don't know. You'll let us know. But since the last time we were going to talk, let us know what happened, Pastor.
Well, I was assistant principal at Bell Church Middle School. Having also, I think, a great year. Prep having a positive impact. Got called in by Dr. Smith, our superintendent, our chief for the district. And she asked would I be willing to move to the high school because they needed some assistance there. They have more students than any school in the district, and felt like a male presence would be helpful there. I actually went out there and served for about 3 days. Ms. Fair was out of town, so I left them with one assistant principal. So in that time, I think that my presence was felt by students and staff alike. So Dr. Smith, along with her team, thought it would be best to go ahead and make the move. So, like I told her, man, when I got the opportunity to come back to my hometown in Aberdeen, I came back to serve. I came back to ask God to use me to make a positive impact, not just in the lives of children, but whoever I come in contact with. Let me be salt, let me be light, let me do those things that are going to bring me glory. And so, me going to the high school, just another step in to be used by God.
Well, that leads us, let's go to the beginning. Doc, where you from?
Originally from Deantown.
Deantown.
Yeah, Aberdeen, Mississippi. Spent most of my young life on the south side, Southview housing projects, out of town. They call it the bricks now.
Now, is that over there where the new basketball court
Yeah,
was built?
yeah, close over there.
Okay, that's where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from the south side.
Okay.
But around 6th, 7th grade, my mom, scraped and scrapped up the house on the north side.
Okay.
Been a road, so we moved there, I think, my 7th grade year, and that's where I was until I graduated. So that's where I'm from, man, home. This home, Deantown.
Okay, so did your mother and father, or was you raised in a two-parent home?
Not a two-parent home. My mom and dad split up when I was young.
Okay.
My dad relocated to Holly Springs, Mississippi, where he worked with Mississippi Industrial College as a women's basketball coach before they closed down. After they closed down, he then transitioned to Russ College, became director, I think, student affairs, he was a baseball coach. And so kind of had the best of both worlds. Man.
Okay.
So dad was still very present in my life, even though I didn't see him every day. But he and my mom did a great job.
Now, with you being a administrator in the school district with children, do you see the difference between a child being raised in a two-parent home compared to a child being raised by a single parent?
Sometimes there's a difference, Doc, but I just think what I've noticed is whether it's a single parent home or if it's a two-parent home, if that home has structure, if that home has love and discipline, the kids are going to be great. Because I have seen kids come out of two-parent homes where there's no discipline or structure. Matter of fact, they're bougie, they're hard to deal with. Whereas I've seen a kid come from a single-parent home, a working mom, but she had her ducks in a row, put her foot down. And so it's just a matter of how that parent or parents run their house.
Every situation is different. Because I was going to honestly say what you said, but you honestly made me do it. Allow me to say that is true. Some are because you have a mother and a father in the home doesn't necessarily mean you have it back.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily mean you want to come out and say yes sir, no sir, and no ma'am, and go to college and be success. That doesn't necessarily mean that. It means you could have it.
Well, of course, statistics say that you have a greater chance, but again, just from my experience, working in several different places in public education, I've seen it not be the case.
I agree. Did you, Was you raised in church now?
It's kind of funny, man. My grandfather, I give him a lot of credit for my early picking me up, taking me to church. Mount Morale Missionary Baptist Church, Aberdeen, Mississippi. At that time they went to church, 2 Sundays a month. They would, come pick me up. He was a deacon, and I would ride with him when he would go pick up church dues for members. Okay. And so my early formation was in the church, but once I became preteen, teen, my mom at that time wasn't really heavy in the church, so it wasn't a mandate for me any longer. So, but I did have a great early foundation. Miss Maggie Gates, my Sunday school teacher, man, laid a solid foundation, and people of that church gave me a foundation that I didn't realize at the time. But right now I'm standing on it strongly and firm.
Okay. So after high school, what life?
After high school, man, middle school, high school, I was pretty decent athlete, football, like most, guys that play and starred and, was it a woman to play. I didn't get any faster, any taller. So I didn't have anybody help me navigate, what it's like to come off the bench. So I left there, and eventually I wound up at Russ College. Russ College was, man, like a saving grace, man. It was an awesome experience. I definitely wouldn't be the man I am now without the relationships that I made there, having to meet Dr. W.A. McMillan, who was the president at the time I came, the basketball coaches, because my dad had working relationships there. By that time, he had moved into administration in the public school system, so he was no longer at the school, Russ, but the relationships he had with those men, so that was great. With the Russ, I majored in English. I had a love for reading and writing, and a minor in political science. My goal was to go to law school. My goal was I was going to move to New York City, go to law school, get me a dropped out BMW, live in one of those flat top apartments, man, just live the life. But I started working for this program where I began to tutor high school students.
While at Russ?
While at Russ.
Okay.
I worked for a program called Upward Bound, which was a program for potential first generation college students. Fell in love with the aspect of this could be a way for me to give back and make a difference. So after graduating from Russ, I went the alternate route to get certified to become a teacher. And so I became an English teacher, started coaching, to say the rest is kind of history.
Now is Russ a HBCU?
Yes, Russ is a Stowe College University.
I didn't even go to a HBCU.
Yeah,
about that here. And look at there.
Yeah, man.
Okay, tell us about your HBCU experience.
HBCU experience, man, the love. Oh man, I had some of my professors, man. If it had been a PWI, predominantly white institution, I would have been a number. But at Russ, I wasn't just a number, man. They saw my gifts, they saw my talents. I wasn't the best high school student, Doc. I was Doc. I was kind of, one of the cool dudes who didn't take books on, but God had blessed me with an intellect, whereby which, I still made decent grades. I scored, pretty decent on the ACT. But when I got to Russ, man, I had some people push me. They wouldn't let me settle, man. So that experience, again, the relationships with the students that I met as friends, and joined the Macon South Five Fraternity Incorporated, which I think is the best fraternity for the bias. But all of that helped shape and make me into what people see today. So, man, I would not trade my HBCU experience for nothing in the world.
Would you now advise young black men and young black women to go to HBCU, or would you advise them just to go to a regular?
If there was a choice on the table,
sure, they had to choose.
They had to choose. I'm saying go HBCU.
Okay, now give us your number one reason, Doc, why would you say HBCU?
The nurturing that you want to do. The nurturing that you get at HBCU. Like again, I wasn't the best student. Dr. Oliver Wells, one of my English professors, Dr. Njaku, they pushed me, man. They wouldn't let me settle for anything else. One of my political science professors, Dr. Kenny, man, I went to him like, man, I want to do this. I want to write books, man. I want to do this. And he never stopped and told me you can't do anything. He simply said, you can do all of it. Just don't say so another professor, man, Dr. Stovall, I went to him, and I want to write a book, man. I got to write a book. He said he hadn't done enough yet to write a book. And at the time, it kind of hurt my feelings. He was right. I hadn't experienced enough yet. I hadn't dealt with life enough yet. So now, since that time, the past few years, I've written 2 books. My third one is getting ready to come out in a few weeks, man. So I'm excited about that.
Doc, you rushed through that now. Come on, you rushed through that. You said the last, how many? You said last what?
My first book, I think, was 2017.
Okay, what's the name of that?
He's Able.
He's Able.
God may not bring you out, but He will bring you through.
Okay.
In 2019, my second book was Time to Grind. Just motivating people, man. And for me, grind, when people hear me say grind, some people may not understand, but it's an acronym for give it all you got.
Okay.
Respect the process, inspire someone else, never settle, and do something different to get something different. So
while we're here, how can the people watch you? Say shout out.
Well, hey,
Facebook.
We do Facebook Live. New Hebron Missionary Baptist Church. Go to the page, like the page, follow the page. Aberdeen, Mississippi. New Hebron Missionary Baptist Church, Aberdeen, Mississippi.
Okay. What time? 11 o'clock.
We are 10:45, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay. How can we get those 2 books?
You can go to Amazon. They're on Amazon Prime. And I'm about to probably have some in my possession here soon because my third book is probably the one I'm most proud of. It's a 31-day devotional, and it's a father's prayer for daughters. Father's prayer for daughters.
Which is needed so much.
The inspiration behind the book, our youngest daughter, Precious, was getting ready to head out to school. She came to me and she was like, Dad, give me some of your favorite scriptures to take, write them down. So number one, that was inspirational, that here is my youngest daughter wants scriptures that she could take to lean on in her transition to college. And so as I was going through that, something began to germinate in my spirit, like, wow, I didn't get a chance to do this with my other daughters. I have 3 other daughters, 4 total. Then I got to thinking about how many other daughters that are going to school or who are just living life who never had a father's prayer. And so the book is kind of threefold. It's for daughters of all ages, but it's also for fathers. Because sometimes fathers, we don't have the verbiage. We don't know how to have those conversations with our daughters. We love them, we protect them. But this book, a father can get it and present it to his daughter. They can read through it with their daughter. And then it's for those women out there who may not have had their relationship, don't know their father, who didn't have a good relationship with their father. Because my prayer was, as I began to write this, God, use me to be a servant. Use me to speak for you to your daughter. So there's always going to be a scripture. Then there's some empowering, encouraging words following the scripture. And then there's a place for the person who's reading it to journal their thoughts for the day. So I'm excited. I'm hoping, like I said, in the next few weeks, we're ready to start pushing out marketing and we're ready to get that out to everybody. But I'm very pleased with this particular product because I know it's like other books with God led, but this, I think, have a greater meaning and purpose to tend to reach a lot of people. Bless a lot of people.
Now that people see why I call you Swiss Army knife, pastor, educator, book writer, all that, man. That's what I'm talking about. So you said Upward Bound was why you decided to go into education.
Upward Bound was one of them, and then there's another program. Again, of course, this HBCU type stuff. It was a program called TIP, where we went to area high schools and we tutored. For Upward Bound, I served as a lifeguard, and later on, after I graduated, I was kind of director of the recreation for the summer program. So I got to be around a lot of high school students. So, I always had an inkling of wanting to coach too. So that was a way, again, my biggest thing, I just wanted to give back, man. I want to make a difference, man. Because growing up, my dad taught here in Aberdeen. He was a coach here. And so running into people, man, I knew your dad. Your dad was my coach. Man, your dad did this to me. It gave me this bigger than life picture of my dad. And even when I met some of his college players, the same thing. So I'm like, I want to have an impact. So education, teaching, and coaching. And then, you don't make a lot of money, but I'll get paid, eat, but doing something that I want to do.
Yes, sir.
And so I got on that track, man. Like I said, once I graduated, I was around certified.
Now, let me ask you this, Pastor, because what would keep you here in the country? I love it, but the average person want to they grow up in the country, and then once they get 18, go to college, they leave and not coming back. You are a good-looking man that preach, you have education, well put together, you speak well, and you choose to stay in the country. For the average person, they don't understand that. Why the country instead of LA or Detroit or Minnesota or some big city? Where the big lights are, you get more people, more members, more money, and more bigger schools. Why not the big bright lights? Why the country?
I'm a man of purpose. My purpose to be. And every experience, all of my education experiences, I've lived in Atlanta, Georgia, New Orleans, Virginia, been around, but all of that was to shape me and make me, to get me back here. That's my purpose, to be back here. I've always wanted to come back here and do things I've done in other places that I felt were positive, had a great impact. I want to do it here. I'm Dean Talent going through. And so the Lord, actually, I had an opportunity to take a job in LA, but I didn't feel that unction and that urge to really go, because I still felt like that at some point God was going to get me back to here. I'm here. As a matter of fact, even in my grandmother's church.
Okay.
My grandmother was an usher at this church, and so, and actually, Mrs. came to mind. She was the first person to call me a preacher. You know, my mom, and this was years later, my mom said when she brought me home from the hospital, that my grandmother, Rosie B. Gates, looked at me and said, that boy's going to be a preacher.
Look at that.
So she prophesied.
Look at there.
So,
would you say education is the route to go? Because where I'm from in Seattle, it seems like teachers always go on strike. And it seems like people always say teachers don't make it up. And the school system becomes dangerous with all shootings and stuff. Is education the route?
it's got to be a call. I think most teachers that I've been around, whatever city, large school, big school, elementary, middle, high school, most teachers, not saying all, there's always an exception to the rule. And I wish parents would understand this. No, hardly anybody goes into education for money, because there's not a lot of money in it. We go into this because we have a love, thirst to help children, see children grow. And so that's what it's about for me. So don't let, I would say, anybody that has to watch this or come across this and has an interest in education, don't let the fact that there's not a whole lot of money be the thing to deter you. Because what I teach people is this: if you chase purpose, the pay will come. If you chase purpose, the pay will come. And there's no greater feeling than to have a student light bulb come on and have an aha moment. You can't put a price on that. One of my athletes that I coached, this was years later, man, just get a phone call one night. Hey, what up, coach? What's up to, man? Oh, what you doing now? Coach, just want to tell you thank you. I'm getting ready to graduate from Mississippi Valley State University. And you can't pay me, you can't give me $1 million for that. You can't give me $1 million for that, man. And I've had, enough of those experiences to keep me wanting to go. Even as a principal, man, I posted, came up with my memories, man, when I was the elementary principal in Starkville. I had a young Caucasian kid by the name of Josh, man. He was 7th grade. And when it was time to, we had a day where you dress up what you want to be, when you get grown and that kind of thing. He came to school, had made a little badge, Mr. Stone, and I always wore a bow tie. He had his bow tie on. And so, so, like I said, man, for me, those types of things, man, and then, his mom would always communicate with me. And even after that post, she posted these things about going into education. So, like I said, man, For
Money
me,
can't buy it.
nah, you can't.
Money can't
Buy it, man. So as long as I'm walking in my purpose, I know God will provide.
I have this same there. I say, I chase after my dream.
And it's you know, it's scripture, man. You know, like Matthew 6:33. You know, seek ye first the kingdom of God and His right, and all these things be added. Yeah, He'll make stuff chase you down, man. So I believe that firmly. I stand on that, and so, man, I'm blessed to be walking in my purpose.
So around what age was it when you decided to go into education? You felt like, God, this is what you chose me to do, education. You were proper age.
Probably 21, 22, like it was my, I think I was a junior at Rush College.
Okay.
Or maybe going into my senior year where I made a decision that this is going to be my route.
So when did you accept your call to preach?
23. I was 23 years old.
Real close.
Yeah, real close. I surrendered. I always knew something, man.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I tell God I ain't perfect enough. You know, you need to get somebody that you know. I wasn't a bad kid. And get in trouble, but you know, I knew I did some things that, you know, weren't considered holy and Christian. So God, nah, just let me, you know, find a way to get back and use somebody else to do this preaching thing. At age 23, part of a rap group. Okay. Called Dirty South Click.
Okay.
We had started our own record company, YB Man Records. Shout out to my guy Dub Sack, who's still doing his thing. Mark Jones, Chili Mac. It's, you know, Tree. I never forget, man. We was having a rehearsal one night. And, I was in the back room, and the pressure had just gotten so heavy. I came out, man. I just told him I can't do it anymore. I been called a preacher. Lo and behold, nobody was shocked. I really kind of I was always that one in the group who was kind of preaching anyway. So, 23, I surrendered. Here I am, 27 years later, still got my hand to the plow.
So, as a pastor preacher in the school district, do you automatically get respect from the administration and the children, or do you have to earn it?
I think mine has been earned. I think people have seen enough of what I do in the community through the church. My service to the community, where I believe it has garnered a certain level of respect where, you know, the administration knows who I am, what I'm about. Matter of fact, Dr. Smith and I worked together in the Starkville area when I was an educator over there, when I was pastoring full-time in Starkville. You know, I didn't just start with one about, you know, I didn't just start working. So I think people through social media and other means have been able to kind of keep up with my journey. And so when I made it back home, I think I had garnered enough respect for what people saw me do, that okay, this guy is respected. So and the way I carry myself, I think, you know, you carry yourself in a certain kind of way, and I give respect. You know, I treat all of my students, you know, you're a little sir, you're a little man. You know, I told them when I got the Bell Shivers, I'm off the stone. So just see me as a person. I'm your big mom. You know, I'm gonna guide you right, but you're gonna treat me right.
Yeah.
You're gonna treat the other adults and you right. You know, so I try to just, like I said, love them, but at the same time, you know, make them toe the line, because I have a high expectation. If I can make it, yeah, no excuse me, not.
Do people put unrealistic expectations on them just because they are preaching in the school district?
I would say some, but it just goes with the territory, you know. And like I said, 27 years, you know, carrying the gospel, and you know, you learn to realize, you know, early on, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I still put a lot of pressure on myself, but I try not to put undue pressure, you know. So it kind of goes with the territory. So I just try to, you know, watch how I live, again, carry myself in a way, man, where people, you know, because again, as preachers, a lot of times all we have is our credibility, you know. So I have to, you know, things I might would like to do, places I might want to go, but the simple fact is, I try to carry myself in a way that when I, number one, get in that pulpit on Sunday, the word that God gives me is going to be heard. You know, I step into that school building, the encouragement, the motivation, the direction I give is going to be respected.
And actually, where are males in the school district? Not just Aberdeen School District, but as a whole, are we lacking males in the school district?
I think it's not just this district, but a lot of districts, man. I think that I would say pay has a lot to do with that because again, you know, some people, you know, they want a profession that's going to really, you know, pay them well. Also, just my personal opinion, I think that how schools and its accountability rating are going, it doesn't lend itself to the strengths of what men bring to the table as educators. That's what I've seen. And so I think that in a search to become in a quest to become an A school or a B school, that sometimes we miss out on some of the other things that are needed in a school. And specifically, I think in urban schools, predominantly African American schools, where we had those old school coaches. Now, that coach wasn't going to do a whole lot of math, but he was going to make sure students were towing the line. He was going to be that discipline. He was going to be that voice of authority. And so, because of the accountability the way it is now, those people have been pushed out, and it's hard to find those places for them to fit in today's world of education. So, we just got to do a better job of grooming young men coming to this field and be ready for the challenges that come with coming into this field.
Same question, but I just want to switch locations. Where are the males in church? Not just you.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
In America.
I think the church in general has done not a good job of addressing men's issues. I think that sometimes pastors, we've allowed ourselves to be idolized, and no man wants to compete with another man when it comes to his wife and his family, if that makes sense. And so what I try to do is I try to be honest, open, and transparent. And so I try to be intentional about building relationships, especially with young men. So I think here at New Hebron, of course, we can always use more men, but I'm starting to see an influx of men because I think that I present the gospel in a way and try to have worship in a way where you feel you're comfortable to come here and to find your place as a man. And just this past Sunday, to God be the glory, preaching the gospel, man, just God urged me to make that call. I want to say 45 young men, young adults, probably between the ages of 18 to 26, 27, they can't get that line across. So, but we got to do the hard work now of connecting them to the church, keeping them connected. So I've been talking to some of the older brothers about, you know, making those connections and being intentional about making disciples. So wherever I've gone, been as a pastor, I've always tried to connect with 2 or 3 young men that I could personally disciple. So again, we got to be intentional in the church.
Is teaching where you make the difference in the school district, or is administration where someone can make the biggest difference? Is it me being in the classroom, I can really make a difference in children's lives, or in the office with the kids?
It just depends. I think that person, some people are just teachers at heart. Whereas for me, I began to feel like I'm bigger, I got something bigger for me to do outside the classroom. So the next step for me was the administration. So as a teacher, I'm directly influencing those children. As an administrator, I'm more so let me influence these teachers so they can have a greater influence on these students. So let me be a support to these teachers. Let me make sure they're encouraged. Let me make sure they're empowered. I would call myself, I'm a teacher administrator. I never beat down on my teachers. I never tried to demean them. I always try to look at their teacher and let me bring the best out of you. And so I think that has helped me as an administrator to where a lot of administrators will say kids first. I say kids first, but those teachers are right there. Very, 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 very close second if it's not a doubt. Because they're on the front line, man. They're on the front line. And so I want to make sure that I'm encouraging them and empowering them to be the best that they can be as teachers. So you can make a difference in that classroom, but again, a good principal can make a difference too. So again, like I said, man, I've always been able to, in either role, I believe God has been able to use me to have
Parent involved. How does parent involvement with their children make a difference overall?
It's one of the things that a lot of districts struggle with. Parent involvement is key. My advice, if any parents are watching this, any educators are watching this, what I want to encourage parents to do, make them put those electronics down. What I would say, 60 minutes a day. No PS5, no iPhone, no Android, but have your child spend 60 minutes a day on activity. Our children struggle reading, and they struggle reading because we don't emphasize reading. Unfortunately, the culture that a lot of our kids, African American kids, urban kids are indoctrinated with does not value education in reading, in arithmetic, in writing. So therefore, teachers are at a disadvantage in certain communities because when students come to them, they're already behind, but yet the accountability says you got to catch them up and get them to where it's supposed to be. Then that becomes doubly hard when you have a parent or parents that do not support what's going on in the school. Sometimes they fight what's going on in the school because unfortunately we live in a day and age where parents are quick to believe their children rather than believe the adults that are in the building. And like I said, the parents, most teachers, they're predominantly teachers do this, black, white, yellow. They may not understand the culture, but they get into the business of education because they have a sincere love for children. There's an exception to the rule, but you're not going to find very many teachers teaching just to get a check because, trust me, the system will weed them out. So they at the school, most of them are giving everything that they got to make a difference in this child's life. So we need more parent involvement, just like when they get dressed up for prom, and I don't care if it's a kiddie prom, the sneaker ball, we need that same kind of energy when it comes to the benchmark tests, the statewide tests, because again, that's how our school district is going to be graded, that's how our teachers are graded, that's how our community is going to be graded. So businesses come to say, hey, do we want to put our energy here? And your school district is an L or a D? Nah, because we don't have anybody who's called on to work. So right now, Aberdeen, I believe, is headed in the right direction. We've got a lot of work to do, and I do believe one of the things that's needed more is more positive parent involvement. And again, I would just encourage parents, 60 minutes a day, no technology, make them read some, make them do some practice work, and they'll grow. But we do need to have parent involved.
I know you got about 1,000 things you tell us parents can do to get involved. Can you just give us one or two, just one or two things parents can do more?
One, come to the open house. When it's report card time, we have open house. Come meet your child's teacher. Number two, pop up at school. Just show up. Just show up. And number three, again, I go back to that third thing. When your child comes home, make them put that cell phone down, make them put that game down. 60 minutes, read, do some math problems. Because again, and I hate, but it's a truth that I hate to say, most of our children are not reading on their grade level. You know, that's a sad commentary. But you only get better at reading by reading. So, again, come to the open houses, report card days, just pop up every now and then at the school, just show your face. You know, three, make them put those electronics down and spend 60 minutes a day doing something like that.
Pastor, what does vision mean?
Being able to see past what you can see.
Being able to see past what you can see. What vision you got? What's your vision for 2024? New year. For you, for the church, for the ministry, for the school, for whatever vision you got. All of them, put them all out. Let them know what you got.
For the new year for the church, for the past several years, what I try to do is, as I get ready to close out the end of 1 year, I pray for God to give me a theme to focus on for the new year. So for this new year, and y'all hearing it here first, for the new year, I'm going to share with my leadership team this Thursday and then with the church on Sunday. But our theme for 2024 is going to be living victoriously by faith in Christ.
You heard it first tonight.
Yes.
You heard it first tonight. Living victoriously
by faith in Christ.
By faith in Christ.
Yeah, and that's
for the whole year.
That's for the whole year, man. That's what we're going to focus on, man. We're going to first Sunday we're going to deal with the text where Jesus tells the disciples in His Word, you're going to have tribulation, but be of good cheer, because I overcome them all. So. Not got too many of these TikTok preachers trying to let everybody know everything's gonna be all good. You're gonna do this and do that. But Jesus said, "Now we're gonna have some challenges." So we're gonna talk about the fact that we have some challenges. Then He gives us a charge, and it's a crazy charge. He said, even though tribulations, charge is be a good cheer. Yeah. Because lastly, we have a champion that I've overcome all these things. So our champion, Jesus Christ, has overcome these things. So I want to teach. Preach these first few weeks of the year after this first initial sermon. We're going to deal with the 11th chapter of Hebron, try to teach and strengthen people's faith, help them really understand what faith is. And so when they meet these challenges throughout 2024 for the rest of their life, they can live victoriously through them because they have faith in Christ.
Pastor Stone, we thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Talking with us tonight. How can we see you again? New Hebron here in Aberdeen, Mississippi at 10:45.
10:45 Central Standard Time, a.m. We're Facebook Live every Sunday. We also have a YouTube page. New Hebron Missionary Baptist Church got a YouTube page. We're trying to expand our social media, but you can also follow me, Joseph Stone, Facebook. Follow me, Time to Grind 73, Instagram, Time to Grind 73. TikTok, we always put some real clips up. And so again, also be on the lookout in the next few weeks, Father's Prayer for Daughters, 31-day devotional, that's going to be coming to you. So fathers and daughters, mothers, it's for everybody. So, but man, thank you, Dr. Mitchell, for doing what you do. The co-drive, hey man, we don't want to miss that. So man, just keep doing what you're doing, man. God bless you and the wife, baby on the way, baby girl. So man, we pray God, just healthy, things go well. So man, thank you for even thinking about me to interview, man. Appreciate you.
Pastor Stone, made an impact in Aberdeen, and friends me since I moved to this area, so I had to get you a camera there. We love knowing what you're doing here in Aberdeen. Happy New Year, Pastor Stone. Happy New Year, everybody. God bless.
One more thing before I
go ahead.
Monday morning motivation is coming back.
Okay.
So y'all be on the lookout. Like 15 minutes of Monday morning motivation every Monday, 6:45 a.m. I'm getting ready to come back to y'all. Y'all been asking for it. So your man, Pastor Stone's gonna come back with your Monday morning motivation. So hey, love you guys. It's your man, Pastor Stone. Peace. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. God bless you.